well. And no doubt, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels will make an appearance over there because it's taking place over in San Antonio, Texas. So can't wait to hear about what Shawn Michaels has to say. And I wonder if he's going to be involved in the whole Daniel Bryan situation, or if he's going to be involved in the whole Brock Lesnar deal. Because, let's be honest, HBK, greatest of all time, he's faced off against The Undertaker before, and he knows what it's like. So it should be tremendous. I can't wait to check it out this Monday night, San Antonio, Texas. Can't wait. And like I also said, I'm a little bit curious about what Triple H is going to do. His reaction about what happened last Monday night. He was completely embarrassed, and it pretty much showed this past Friday night on SmackDown, and he pretty much showed his power on Damian Sandow. And by the way, let me tell you something. I'm going to bring this up. And I want to bring the subject of Damian Sandow, but I also want to bring someone else up as soon as I bring up the subject of Lockdown. I'll get to that in just a moment. Let me talk about the Shield. Let me talk about the fact that it seems like there's a purpose going on with the Shield right now, because at first it seemed to me that I thought the Shield was going to actually break up before our eyes, but it doesn't happen that way. And it seems now that the Shield is more together than ever, thanks to the corporate Kane. Now, a lot of people still see the Shield breaking up, and I still do, but I believe in my mind and in my heart that I think the Shield won't break up at all. As a matter of fact, I think if the Shield stay together until WrestleMania, it'd be great. Because even though, despite the fact that the Shield look like they're going to break up, and Roman Reigns is still the hottest thing in the Shield, in my opinion, I still think that there's still some more juice left in the Shield. They've had a year to become a heel, and they have pretty much dominated and destroyed every single person that has gotten their way, whether it was The Undertaker, whether it was Kane, whether it was Daniel Bryan or John Cena or anybody else. The only people that they've not been able to destroy is the Wyatt family, which I want to get to in a moment. The Shield, apparently they are a heel now, or they're a face now, I'm sorry, baby face that is, because of the whole thing that happened this past Friday night with the Big Show and Kane. After that, Kane, I guess, was trying to get his hands on Seth Rollins. And then after that, Roman Reigns comes in and spears the living hell out of Kane. And believe it or not, even though they do take orders from Triple H, and let's be honest, they do kind of take orders from him because they know he's the boss. They don't really take orders from anybody, regardless, because they are the Shield. So I think now, with the Shield being a face, this is good for them. And I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be behind the Shield. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be behind Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose of the Shield. Now, I've been a huge supporter of the Shield since they debuted. And personally, I'm glad that they are a face, because now that the whole heel thing is out of the way, now they can be a face, and whoever they face off, I'm hoping we'd see the Shield at WrestleMania. And who will they face off? Obviously, Kane's going to be a part of WrestleMania in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Whatever the case may be, the Shield at WrestleMania will be good, good for business. And whoever they take on, it should be tremendous. And my opinion, when will the Shield break up? My opinion, I'm gonna say SummerSlam. I'm gonna say SummerSlam simply because I want to see the Shield continue to become a group and continue to dominate and take over and destroy every superstar on the roster. And then hopefully after or before SummerSlam, we may see the breakup happen there. Who knows? Now, speaking of things that they have not destroyed, let's talk about the Wyatt family. Now, it was cool the fact to see Daniel Bryan. Cool to see Hulk Hogan, first of all, him, the Hulkster brother. Him and John Cena together, it's just an awesome thing to watch. And also for Hogan to introduce the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and from what I understand, that's going to be a part of the pre-show, which once again, I'm going to say this because I can. You adding the Andre the Giant Memorial to WrestleMania should be a part of WrestleMania, not the pre-show. That's my opinion. And so far already, everyone else is throwing their hats in the ring as to who will win the battle. And so far, the only person that they've all talked about is Big Show. Simply because, let's see, Andre the Giant, big man, weight over 520 pounds, one of the eighth wonder of the world. In many ways, a lot of people feel that it's appropriate for Big Show to win it. And I see that. I see that in many ways possible, but I kind of see something a little bit different. I would rather see maybe Alberto Del Rio win it, or even Dolph Ziggler. I would love to see him win it personally. But the Big Show, I think a lot of people will agree upon that. Me, that's still kind of up to debate at this point. Now, let me continue on. The fact that seeing John Cena and Hulk Hogan together was great. And then seeing the Wyatt family come in and basically, Bray Wyatt coming out speaking in tongues in every way possible. And, it's golden to hear Bray Wyatt talk. And something, people can get confused about the things that he says, okay? Bray Wyatt may talk in tongues, he may speak in poetry, he may speak in rhymes, he may put riddles in everyone's minds, but he's doing a good thing. He's good at the mic, he says what he says, he's got experience. He's got experience in every way possible, yes, because he was known as Husky Harris, but not only that, he is IRS's son, so that is enough experience to understand. So he has a lot to offer. Now, him and John Cena at WrestleMania, that's going to be a great match to watch as well. And even though the phony injury, and let's call it like we see it, the phony injury that John Cena had, obviously that was taken away, and now it'll be John Cena against Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. And so far already, I'm hearing that people think that Bray Wyatt is going to win and beat John Cena at WrestleMania, which, I will admit that it would be good to see John Cena lose to Bray Wyatt, but I don't really see that happening. And my reasons for it is, we're talking about WrestleMania and we're talking about John Cena. Here's the thing. To me, I think Bray Wyatt is going to give a great match against John Cena. I think it's going to go great at WrestleMania. I see it going as far as I can. And a lot of people are going to be chanting for Bray Wyatt. And I think that's the build-up for it. Because to me, if you let Bray Wyatt win and beat the top guy in this business, in many cases, in my opinion, beating the top guy, especially when it comes to John Cena at WrestleMania, is not good at all in any way possible. Because you never know how far that superstar can really go in other people's eyes. In other words, I would rather see John Cena and Bray Wyatt face off against each other after WrestleMania. In other words, here's what I think. At WrestleMania, I want John Cena to beat Bray Wyatt. Just like that, at WrestleMania. Because it would make a whole lot of sense. And then the rematch would take place at the next pay-per-view, and then John Cena would then have to lose to Bray Wyatt. That would make a whole lot of sense. Now, I know some people may think, oh, come on, man. We're talking about WrestleMania. You got to let the little guy shine, man. You got to let it roll. Personally, I wouldn't. I like Bray Wyatt. I think he's a tremendous athlete. He's good on the mic. But there's still something that Bray Wyatt has to do. Remember, John Cena said it. He was the one that said, in order for this generation to become top, or whatever John Cena said, you got to go through him. And to me, the only few people I know that have gone through John Cena, CM Punk, he's gotten through John Cena, and look where he's at. Daniel Bryan, he gone through John Cena, and look where he's at. Bray Wyatt, I do see that happening, but I don't see that happening at WrestleMania. Bray Wyatt will lose. He will give a good match, obviously, against John Cena, but in the end, Bray Wyatt will lose, and that's all I see. That's all I see from that complete format right there. Okay, now, we've discussed everything that's going to happen already. Now, drinking my Coke once again. Let's get the attention off of the WWE for a moment, and let's talk about TNA Wrestling. Let's talk about TNA's Lockdown pay-per-view, which took place this past Sunday night over in Miami, Florida. And let me tell you something. I am very impressed with how TNA is becoming. Now, I did not get a chance to see the pay-per-view last weekend, but I did hear a lot of good reviews, and I did hear a lot of good things happen, including the whole thing with Bully Ray, Bully Ray becoming the special guest referee for the Lethal Lockdown match with Team Dixie Carter versus Team MVP. And I gotta admit, it did take me off guard. It didn't surprise me that Dixie Carter would have an insurance policy, because when she said that at the end of the show, right away the first thing that came to my head is, okay, someone's gonna be a special guest referee. Who would it be? It'd be Bully Ray. Okay, Bully Ray becomes the referee. Okay. And something in my head was telling me something is up, and I just see it coming. And then sure enough, Bully Ray turns on I believe it was Bobby Roode, and did what he did, and MVP would win and would have complete control of wrestling operations in TNA. And Dixie Carter, the look on her face just tells the entire story. And I digged everything about that and more, and it was tremendous. And how about not just the fact that Jeff Hardy would return. The big question about Jeff Hardy was, would Jeff Hardy come out as the charismatic enigma, or would Jeff Hardy come out as the new character named Willow? Well, sure enough, all of our questions were finally answered. He came out and the whole Willow gimmick, and I heard about the whole Willow deal that he came out in a long time ago. I tried to read into that and everything else like that, but just seeing it before my eyes, he looked awesome to me. And this was a completely different Jeff Hardy than I imagined to be, and everything. This was a totally different guy. It's kind of like a little bit of a similarity with the Wyatt family, but there's something to him. It's like, when I see Willow, when I see the character that he is, the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about it is I think of Slipknot, because I'm a huge metalhead, and I like Slipknot, and I like how they come out in these mask costumes, and they come out in these characters in every way possible. I also think of I believe another band called Mushroomhead. They also do like the same costume gimmick in every way possible. Jeff Hardy kind of, when he brought in that Willow character, it was interesting to watch. The promos were interesting, and it kind of, got into that whole phase, and I was really into what he was. And even when I saw him wrestle against Rockstar Spud, this was a totally different Jeff Hardy. This was a meaner Jeff Hardy. This wasn't even Jeff Hardy at all. This was Willow. This was a totally different character from what I saw. I'm impressed, and I this is one of these characters where you don't know if he's a good guy and you don't know if he's a bad guy, but nonetheless, Willow is who he is, and I liked what he is, and I hope we see a lot of this character in the near future in TNA wrestling. Now, I'm also going to mention the TNA World Heavyweight Championship match between Magnus and Samoa Joe. Now, it didn't surprise me that Magnus would win the championship. It, didn't surprise me at all. The big surprise, however, was when this hand comes out from the fucking ring and then pulls in Samoa Joe, and then Samoa Joe comes out in blood. It's a little bit similar to what Mankind did a long time ago, and also something that The Undertaker did a long time ago as well. So it was very, very similar in that particular nature. Nobody knew who it was until he appeared before our eyes, and it was the Monster Abyss. And, honestly, I didn't expect it to be him, but in a way, it was good. Just the new look that the Monster Abyss had. He had that Mankind mask on, and that's what it kind of looked like. And I really like how the look is with Abyss. And him teaming up with the World Heavyweight Champion Magnus, I really like that. I see great things happening for these two, especially for Magnus. Even though people could call him a paper champion in any way possible, Magnus is a great talent. Magnus, I think, will go far, and I think he will hold on to that championship for a long time. But I expect him to lose the championship until Slammiversary. That's my opinion. I don't know how far this will go, but this thing with Abyss and Magnus, I'm hoping it goes real far, and I hope it, leads into something very, very great, and I can't wait for that. Now, MVP being the new director of authority, being the new boss, and everybody else like that.